I'm 99 and 11 months, and I am a still living park ranger with the National Park Service. I came to the parks about 15 years ago as a field representative for a member of the California State Assembly. I think because I was not a usual Rosie. In fact, I wouldn't allow them to call me Rosie because I didn't feel that I had been involved in that part of the park. Because as a black woman, I had not seen any of the ships or anything being built. The park was being planned as an homage to the Rosies, and it involved many stories that were not included in the stories of women who were riveting. The story of the Japanese would not have been included because that wasn't considered a Rosie story. It would have not included the story of the explosion at Port Chicago. Lives were lost, 202 of them being black stock workers. That wouldn't have been included. So that by pointing out some of the lost stories of the war, this park became more of a homefront story than an homage to the women who'd worked. I did find my place in the story. It was not a Rosie, but it was important. The workers came from everywhere. They came from everywhere, USA. But those were white workers. First were the men who were too old to fight or too young to be drafted. And then there were women who were brought in to take the place of the men who couldn't be there on the home front. There were handicapped people for whom there was no role, who were suddenly found to be not only acceptable, but usable. Black men were brought in 1943. Black women were brought in not to be Rosies, but to be home front workers who were picking up trash as other people worked. That sequence is not known to anyone who sees the pictures and who assumes that that was all mixed up. But they were not. They were kept separate. And the Japanese going away made the separation even deeper, so that racism had always had a role to play in the Second World War. That's the story, I think, that becomes important as you begin to explore, because it dictated so much of what happened. Washington was unbelievable. There must have been doubled the number of people who would normally be there, and at least half of them were black. I was watching the parade go by, and Michelle and Brock were walking. I felt like it was as if it was me and all the other people there, I think, were feeling that. The last few years have been hard for me because I see them as being my final years. I've seen so much over the years. I can't help but think that Black Lives Matter has brought on something that's been way ahead of us. And as it was with the Obamas, it's going to happen without anyone doing anything, just because its time has come. And I think it's not too far ahead of us. But right now, we're going through a period that is so negative, and we are so awake. We are so awake. I can't help but think that it's all going to come together in the next few years. It's going to be too late for me, but it's going to be in time for you.